What's up, everybody? Early Stoppage MMA here. Today we're going to be doing a quick recap of the UFC 324 card that just took place yesterday. It was a pretty good card, I would say. A lot of decisions. It started out very strong, but we did get to see sort of the new Paramount era production value, and a lot of that stuff was kind of cool. I liked the fight packages. Overall, it went pretty smooth as far as like the event running and without mistakes and stuff like that. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad event at all. Let's go over some of the results here. I'm gonna just do starting with Umar and Figgy, and we're just gonna go from there. So, Davison Figueiredo versus Umar Nurmagomedov. This kind of went, I think, how most people thought it would. We definitely talked about it in our prediction video that we posted earlier this week. Figgy's takedown defense looked great, especially for his age. That was kind of crazy. He was defending takedowns really well, keeping his balance. I was quite impressed with how he held up there, but just the lack of maybe activity on the feet, lack of pressure. Like he wasn't really going for anything, probably because of the threat of the takedown. And Umar was just able to kind of throw up his kicks at him, which is something Umar does very well. Keep him at range and just fend him off kind of for the fight. So yeah, not super surprising. That went about how I think most people assumed it would go. Not too much more to say about that. I don't think. I mean, especially seeing as how the co-main turned out, I don't think there's a world in which Umar gets a title shot. It seems more than likely Umar's going to have to fight again. Maybe he fights Song Yadong because they're going to be on similar timelines now, which would be an interesting fight. Who knows how that would go. Yeah, moving on. In the opening up the main card, we had Arnold Allen versus John Silva in a very competitive fight. I love Arnold Allen. I really wanted him to win this. But I picked John Silva, and for the exact reasons that we saw in this fight. John Silva just did a bit more. He just landed a bit better, especially in those later fights. And I think Arnold Allen, the pace of this fight was kind of crazy at moments. And I think it got to Arnold Allen. I think all that time off, I could maybe attribute that to ring rust because he's been off for so long. He, coming in there, it looked like he was just tired, especially in that last round. Like it was close. He maybe could have pulled it together if he just was able to land a little bit more, to just do a little bit more, but such is the game. And yeah, I think he was just too tired. Damn, good fight. Arnold Allen will bounce back. I have no doubts about it. He's good. He's great at what he does. Jean Silva's no pushover. He's going to be a division staple. I think we know this at this point. After a pretty competitive fight with Diego Lopez too, before being KO'd in that fight. It'll be interesting to see what John Silva does next. I look forward to it, whatever it is. Moving on from there, we've got Rose Namajunas versus Natalia Silva. Again, this fight went about how I thought it would go. Rose did better on the feet. I will say Rose looked better in this fight than I thought she was going to. I really thought Natalia Silva was just going to kind of be able to do whatever she wanted at range. But Rose was landing. Rose was throwing stuff that would land and staying in the fight. So no shame there. Natalia Silva is just pretty fucking good. So let's book her versus Shevchenko. Maybe she could beat Shevchenko. Who fucking knows? But it would be awesome. And I would look forward to that fight. Natalia Silva is a great style. She's an entertaining fighter. I would like to see her get her shot. I think she's more than earned it at this point, especially stepping in on short notice too, like this. Yeah, good stuff. Moving on to the featured fight of the night, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. This was in Activity City. I mean, it was just kind of two heavyweights standing there, staring at each other, jiggling at range. But it honestly, Derek Lewis was kind of going for it. Derek Lewis really looked his age in this fight, I will say. Derek Lewis looked like he was just done. He kind of like sat down. It looked like he was just ready to not be in the fight anymore. And Costa did exactly what he needed to do and capitalized on his opportunity to finish this fight, which is impressive. Oh my God, did you hear my dog sneeze? That was crazy. Yeah, good on Waldo Cortez Acosta. At this point, probably one fight away, I would say, from a title shot. Or, if they're going to do Pereira moves up, fights Tom Aspinall, which would be the best case scenario, and then Cyril Gane for, destroying this fight and not really earning his shot in the first place. Maybe he fights Waldo Cortez Acosta, and the winner of that then fights the winner of Pereira versus Aspinall. That seems reasonable. That seems doable. I think Waldo's an intelligent fighter. He fought this Derek Lewis fight very smart. Like, I kind of figured, you see Derek Lewis in a fight and you think it's going to be entertaining, but like, Waldo is a smart fighter, and if you're fighting Derek Lewis, why would you want to strike with him? I would avoid that at all costs, and I think that's kind of what Waldo did. I really thought he was just going to hold him up against the fence for 3 rounds straight. Luckily, didn't have to. Just kept his range fairly well, placed a few shots well, and then just capitalized on the first opportunity he got to just dispatch Derek Lewis. Good stuff. I want to see Waldo fight some of these top guys, because we really, other than the Pavlovich fight, we haven't seen him fight some top guys. Also, where the hell is Pavlovich? I know that's like a side note in this conversation, but like, the guy is just gone. He's been just gone since Tom Aspinall like whooped him. It's kind of wild. Anyways, moving on from there, we had the bantamweight co-main event between Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong. In the traditional fashion, Song Yadong could not rise to the occasion, unfortunately. I like Song Yadong a lot. I think he's a cool guy. I like his style, but he just could not place shots on O'Malley. O'Malley was just, his range was really good. He was getting out of stuff. He was cutting angles, moving away, circling out. O'Malley was just super elusive in this fight, which is something that Song Yadong tends to struggle with, especially in these like taller fighters. Song Yadong, he will just chase his opponent around. He's got to learn how to cut people off and like get better ring control, because how many times have we seen this happen? Like in the Corey Sandhagen fight, in this fight, in some other ones that he's lost, in the Petr Yan fight, where these dudes will just circle away from him or cut an angle on him, and then he's swinging at nothing and left to just keep like running after them while they throw like counter twos and just jabbing as they're moving away. And that stuff just piles up on Song Yadong. I mean, Song got in there and he landed some decent body shots and stuff on O'Malley and some good kicks. It's just kind of a shame, because you look at this and Song Yadong would have been in an interesting matchup, sort of in some of the options, that the way that like the top of the division could play out. I think to like, if Umar beats Petr Yan and Petr Yan beats like Merab in a rematch and that whole thing goes down, there's a solid chance that Umar will wind up with the belt at that point. And I'm going to be so real. At that point, if they give Sean O'Malley a title shot, he is not going to fucking win that fight. I mean, like if it's Umar versus Sean O'Malley, Umar's going to just take him down. We've seen this. Like it's not even a point of like Merab's crazy pressure wrestling. O'Malley just struggles with wrestlers and grapplers. Grappling just isn't his strong suit, which is totally fine. But it makes for a less compelling world for him at the top of the division, I guess. So kudos to Sean O'Malley. It was a good performance. It was a good bounce back. Song Yadong's no pushover. And unfortunately, again, Song Yadong just could not hit that breakthrough. He could just not have that breakthrough moment. Hopefully, one day, he does get his shot and he sort of rises to the occasion. Because I do think he's so young. He's still got plenty of time unless the damage really catches up to him, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Hopefully Song Yadong just continues to improve. Good on O'Malley. Moving on to the main event. Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. This was a very stupid fight. This was a very dumb fight, which is kind of what I expected. This was like just CTE special. These dudes were fucking wailing on each other. You look at the significant strike numbers, and Paddy wore way more damage in this fight. Definitely reacted much more to the bigger shots, but the significant strikes were within like 10 to 15 of each other, which is kind of crazy for this like 5-round fight. Paddy wasn't out of the game. He was still landing on Gaethje. Gaethje looked like he was doing some chicken dances, some wobbly legs a few times. But Gaethje also just kind of looked off balance this entire fight, which was a little weird. I will say I picked Paddy Pimblett. I figured that the odds were like whack. I did think that Paddy should not have been as big of a favorite. But man, I mean, Gaethje came through. He made it happen. This was a sloppy, messy ass fight. I just really thought Pimblett would grapple more. I really thought Pimblett would establish his grappling threat and have a round where he was just controlling Gaethje on the ground. But he just did not. I mean, he didn't even kind of go for grappling. Even when he could, when they're in the clinch, he didn't try to trip him, which is something he usually does to his opponents. He didn't pull guard, do the whole like flying triangle thing, which is something he is notorious for doing. And then that's what gets him on the ground and gets him into these positions where he tends to get submissions. Yeah, Petty just did not use a facet of his game that I think would have been useful. It would have been better at deterring Justin Gaethje from just sort of putting the pressure on. But yeah, Gaethje just flying over Paddy's punches, which was something we all knew would be his path to victory, worked swimmingly. I mean, he was hitting Paddy. Paddy was just there to be hit. And Paddy's uppercuts were landing really well on Justin Gaethje. Paddy did a good job of punching right at the end of his range, using his slight range advantage on Gaethje in moments. And when Paddy put on the pressure, like in the third round, and parts of the fifth round, like he really was putting it together and keeping Gaethje from being able to advance, being able to throw. And I think we've seen too, like Paddy does seem to have a certain level of danger in his striking, a level like a pop to his shots, because when Paddy was throwing, Gaethje was not exactly looking forward to taking those punches or being in those moments with him. So it was a good fight. Gaethje, the thing that sucks about this is that now Gaethje is the interim champ. We got to wait 4 months for him to fight Ilia. There is no world in which Gaethje beats Ilia. I think that there is a 0% chance. I think that Gaethje is going to get fucking slept in the first round. I just don't see that happening. And then we're going to have to wait 8 more months for Ilia to finally fight Arman. Unless Paddy Pimblett somehow gets another win in there and it's like a finish. Then maybe they'll give it to Paddy over Sarukian again. But yeah, it's just, this is a very like, it sucks because this is like the worst case scenario for the division in terms of just nothing burger outcomes. It's not good for the sport because now you don't have Paddy as this big star with the interim belt that you can build this big fight on with good promotion because Paddy will shit talk and do his thing. And like young people love him. You just have old man Gaethje, who a lot of newer fans don't know, that's just going to get fucking smoked by Ilia. Maybe it's good for building Ilia's star power, but not very compelling, unfortunately. It does seem like lightweight's a bit stagnant right now, with Arman locked out of the title picture. But thanks for watching, everybody. That was our quick recap. Yeah, not our best pick in the main event. I think we were right about just about every other fight that we picked, though, which is cool. Yeah, thanks for watching. Tune in next week to watch us pick wrong again, probably. And we're going to continue to do it and continue to clickbait the hell out of our videos. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the fights. Peace.